If you've seen this channel before, you might be thinking, I like this guy's stuff, but I don't really know how he got here. So today I'm telling you a bit about my journey that I've never said out loud. How I stacked up skills from a £1 intern to a £10,000 business owner. And more importantly, how you can do the same. Even if you don't have a clue where to start. Because the truth is, I have never told you the full story. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't think it mattered. I never told you that I started out as a DJ. I never told you about the magazine I built from scratch, interviewing stars like Brandy, Shaggy, Rita Ora, Jason Derulo, Wiz Khalifa. I never told you about the SoundCloud label I ran and managed another DJ. I've never discussed the record labels, the artist management companies, or the brands I've worked for behind the scenes. Because I had this imposter syndrome living in my head that said, if you didn't get the client from All About Helping, it didn't count. And one of my closest friends, he put me in my place recently and said, it was Ayaz all along. And so today I want to tell you that story, the real truth. And if you're trying to build a life using your creative skills, you shouldn't need 10 years to figure it all out. I can half that time or 1/10 that time for you. And so let me give you the blueprint. I'm sharing this because musicians think they have to wait until they blow up, until they start making money. But the truth is, I didn't wait for anybody to hand me a title. I earned it. I built it with these two hands from scratch. And I want to show you how to do the same by turning low value tasks into high value skills. And you can turn your passion for music into a life that actually pays you back without burning out, without begging for clients, and by choosing who you work with. But it starts by working on your mindset first, then working on yourself, and eventually on the work. And so let me rewind it back. 2009, I was a broke university graduate with a dream of working in music. And somehow, by asking everyone I could think of, I landed an internship at SBTV, posting on Twitter and replying to YouTube comments. 10 hours a day, £0 salary, just travel expenses. But I didn't care. I was hungry. That was my first £1 skill. Social media channel management. Tweeting, scheduling, tagging, and replying to comments as if I was Jamal Edwards. God rest in peace. And to keep it 100 with you, because that's the promise of this video, is I made mistakes. I posted the wrong image. I tagged the wrong artist. I got the timing wrong. And I had Jamal text me from board meetings telling me I messed up. And so I felt the weight of that pressure. And I never, ever made the same mistake twice, because that anxiety, it forced me to level up. And after SBTV, I moved from that internship onto a different internship. I think I was at Sony Music at the time. I taught myself a £10 skill, graphic design, using Photoshop and Canva. And I was basically creating assets when the designer was too busy. I would take a photo and add some text on top. I would add the countdown tiles saying 7 days to go, 3 days to go, 1 day to go. And so I made myself more useful to the record label. And suddenly, they kept me on after my internship, offering me an hourly wage. Then again, I moved to another record label. I think it was Relentless this time. And I taught myself a £100 skill. Content creation plus video editing. And so I said to the label manager, if you let me go to the show, I will film everything. I'll go backstage into the VIP room with the artist. I'll go side of stage while they're playing. I'll jump into that front row in front of the security and film from there. Then I would go home, and on the train and all the way till 3 in the morning, I would video edit so that the artist and Relentless Records could post the video the very next morning. That hustle, it got me promoted to social media manager. I was in the office by day, attending shows by night, and editing until the early hours of the morning. And I loved it. Then came the £1,000 skill, strategy, right? Not just by doing and executing the social media, but by planning it. And so I'd said to different brands, like, look, instead of paying £5,000 to an agency, which is what you've been doing already, let me write the strategy. I already know the brand better than anyone else because I'm the voice on social media. And they let me. and I would design great social media campaigns that would actually work. And so that confidence got me promoted again and again and again. So I jumped from an intern to an executive assistant to a manager and then to a director. And finally, I taught myself the £10,000 skill: ads and analytics, running Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and YouTube campaigns, tracking every single metric every single day, which ad performed well, which countries performed well, and I would report back with clarity and confidence and feedback. But again, I've got to be real, right? I've wasted so much money on ads. I've ran the wrong objectives. I've set the wrong date ranges, targeted the wrong countries. And every time I made a mistake, I built a process document so it never happened again. And now those documents have become the 100K Hitmaker system, a full stack protocol to help my artist clients, even to today, reach 100,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. It's literally built from 10 years of mistakes, all refined into a plug and play engine. And so if you want to get your hands on the 100K Hitmaker system, there's only two ways. Number one is head to the website from the link in the description below and grab a copy. Or number two is become a client of mine and work with me, and I will give you a personalized plan to how to roll out your next single using the 100K Hitmaker system and the best cherry pick strategies for you. So at the start, I promised you I'd teach you how to go from a £1 skill to a £10,000 business. So here is what I want you to do. Get a pen and paper and write this down. Number one is identify your core skill. If you don't have one yet, let me teach you. You can learn graphic design, content editing, social media strategy. You might already be a mixing and mastering engineer. You might be a vocal coach. You might be able to punch in vocals. You might have any skill in the world. And if you don't have one, if you really cannot think of any skill set you have, these are all learnable. And you don't need to do it all at the start. You just need one skill to begin. Step number two is to figure out who you want to serve. Are you helping other musicians? Or are you helping labels, creators, influencers, or brands? Or just regular Joe Schmoes, like real people? Figure out who you want to serve. Third is design your offer. And trust me, don't charge by the hour. Charge by the outcome to get the client to their goal. Like I say this from making the mistake of charging my first ever client £50 for an hour. And when we didn't finish the work in the hour, I said, it's okay, we can keep going. We'll just stay on the phone until we get it done. I felt guilty to ask them for more, and I was sacrificing by giving them free time. So if you're a vocal coach, that's a really good example, actually. Like, I asked someone who I know, I said, Romaine, how long does it take for an artist to improve their voice? And she said it's about 2 or 3 months. So therefore, an hourly wage doesn't make sense, because someone will say, I can only afford 3 lessons, and their voice is not going to get any better in 3 hours. And so instead, you should try and sell that package of 12 weeks. So you get them to their goal. They end up leaving with a transformation. You end up leaving with 12 times 1 hour fees. So everybody wins. And that's how you get better clients, not just more of them. And fourth is you price for commitment. You don't price what your service is worth. You price to value the time, the energy, and the sacrifices you need to make to service that client. It's a filter. It makes the wrong people say no and the right people say yes faster. And so I want you to start thinking what business you could launch for yourself, so you could stop taking money from your 9 to 5 to pay for your music, and start making money from your music to pay it and break even, if not make a profit. There's an incredible book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so the poor dad would say, I can't afford it. Whether that's an engagement ring, whether that's a holiday, whether that's like a new car, the poor dad will say, I can't afford it. The rich dad will say, how can I afford it? And they'll think, okay, I need to make 3 clients at £500 over 1 month, and in 3 clients I'll be able to afford that item, whatever the item is. And so you think, how can I charge it? How many clients do I have to deal with in order to earn that much money? And so now I'm ready to be free. Like I'm letting go of everything that's held me back in the past. And I want you to do the same. I'm ready to teach you everything I've learned in this game. Not from theory, but from 12 years of doing the damn thing. And so if you want to scale your streams, I want to help. Right? I want you to shoot me a DM with the word Hitmaker, and I will build you a plan to get to 30,000 streams per single and 100,000 monthly listeners in the next few months. If you want to make your old songs heard by your new fans, I'll show you how to compound your catalog with a content machine. If you want to run your own freelance business and work with your dream clients, I will help you package, price, and position your offers like a pro. I only pick 8 clients per month, right? And so if you want to be one of them, shoot me a DM with the word Hitmaker. I will send you all the information you need about how it works. If you're not ready yet, that's absolutely fine too. Just don't sleep on your potential, because one day you're going to realize it was you all along.